Grace from Storytime Love. Today we're reading the story of Scubber by Darren Pickett. Scubber. Daisy and Clive, who were 6 and 5, liked to hide in the garden. And when they misheard their mother's kind word, they never ever said, "Pardon?" But that is not the story today. The story they heard their father say, that his father told him, one Father's Day, one September. The story was cold and dark and damp, and it told of an ogre in a Gunk Blugula camp, whom unlucky children would visit in dreams and come back to waking in a sweat and with screams. It told of the fate of the children who chose to mine and to hunt and to dig in their nose. It told of a terror dark behind doors, waiting for children who picked at their sores. It scared the hair straight and filled out the dimples of children who frequently squished out their pimples. This is the story, now begun we can't stop, of Scubber Bubber, the Dubber Bubber, the Bubba Dubber Dump, Pimple Pop. Who? Listen up. That's Scubber Bubber, the Dubber Bubber, the Bubba Dubber Dump, Pimple Pop. So, listen carefully, or Scubber will come in your dreams in the night, and he'll scare you dead numb. If you dig out your boogies, if you rip off your scabs, if you squeeze at your pimples, you'll awake in his labs. And then you will see the glee with which he will gloop and gabobble, to hooey and gobnobble, ghastly little boogie pickers, grotty little scab rippers, grubby little pimple poppers, just like thee. But Daisy and Clive, who were 6 and 5, did not give a hoot about Scubber and his loot. So they picked and they scratched and they mined and they dug and they ripped and they squeezed all their boogies, scabs and glug. And on one fine day, just another same old day, down went the sun and the sky burned red. After dinner, baths and stories, Clive and Daisy went to bed. And into sleep they drifted. Down, down, down. Through the silence sifted. Down, down, down. Until the darkness lifted. Down, down, down. Then they felt their feet upon the floor and woke. Where are we? Where is my bed? Where are our blankets? Where is my Ted? The floor was cold, dark and damp. The cave was scarily grim, but there was a glimmer of a lamp behind a rocky rim. They peeked around the corner's jagged edge and smiled, for they saw a children's playground, softly lit and brightly tiled. They ran to meet the first play place, a sea of bouncy balls, all green and brown and yellow, thousands deep, all down the holes. In they leapt and dived throughout it. They swam and bombed, they jumped and shouted. When they got tired, they jumped out and saw next up a roundabout. Brightly coloured, they hopped right on and spun until their minds were gone. Round and round they dizzily went and fell off when done into a vent. Down they slid, looped a looped, soared aloft, smooth as silk, and fell into what? Was it milk? Warm and welcome, creamy and light, it aroused a healthy appetite. So getting hungry, out they got, and to the next room dripping, they did trot. And there they found in great array bottles and jars and boxes and trays, piled without number, inside and on top, a gazillion cookies and biscuits, one bucket and one mop. Well, Daisy and Clive were ready for lunch, so they opened a jar and grabbed a bunch, sat down by a window and got ready to munch, cookie to mouth and about to crunch. They looked through the window and guess what they saw? Scubba bubba, ba-dubba bubba, the bubba dubba dump pimple pop, in all his awe. There he was, filthy and fat, a 2-story building. He was taller than that, covered in scabs and wearing a hat. His nostrils so big you could fit in a cat, and a face full of pimples made of animal fat. The children watched, eyes about to pop, so engrossed they couldn't stop, silently sitting with cookies in hand, watching Scubba, free in his horrible land. He took his green finger, he stuck it up his nose, he drew out a boogie, green as a garden hose. He rolled it between fingers as he walked his smelly hall. Then at the end, he dropped it in a sea of bouncy balls. Daisy looked at Clive. Clive looked at Daisy. They understood at once. The balls were rolled up, Scubba boogies. But they couldn't tear their eyes away. To the gore they were transfixed. Then Scubba moved to the next large room, and there the milk he mixed. The vat was large as a swimming pool, and in it he was standing, mixing it gently with his tail, with pimples quite expanding. He brought his fingers to the dots, white upon his face, and squeezed them all into 100 pots, then poured them in a space. Into a vent it quickly went, and down a slippery race. Clive and Daisy, then they knew it wasn't milk they'd fallen into. A picture of ugliness, sadness and calm. Scubba sat, then examined and searched his arm. "What's this?" he shouted. "A scab I've spied!" He leapt with joy. "Eureka!" he cried. With a grimace on his face and an unhealthy cough, between his fingers did he clasp it, and worried it slowly off. He took a jar from the highest shelf and slowly unscrewed the lid. He dropped the fat scab into it, as the children watched and hid. Now seeing that these cookies weren't cookies they could eat, they dropped them quickly as they could and jumped up to their feet. Now they knew that once they bolted, they had better not stop. But as they ran, they both were halted, 'cause Daisy kicked the bucket and Clive tripped on the mop. A clang and a clatter. A din? What's the matter? So close were they to Scub's feet, he heard their footsteps patter. Halting work with filling jars, he saw the children bolting. He could not have them escape from here and reveal he was revolting. He rose and sped and raced the children to bed, where he hoped to catch them gasping. Then out of sleep they drifted, up, up, up. Through the noise they sifted, up, 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 until the sunlight lifted, up, up, up. They felt the sun upon their face and woke. Here we are! Here are our beds, here are our blankets, here is my Ted. Then Clive looked at Daisy, and Daisy looked at Clive. I don't want another night like that. I'll not touch another boogie. But the sun will fall tonight as well, and the next night after that. Whatever can we do to stop Scubba Bubba, Badubba Bubba, the Bubba Dubba Dump Pimple Pop? Be good. What a funny name Scubba has. He's quite scary. Do you know how to say Scubba's full name? Shall we say it together? It's Scubba Bubba, Badubba Bubba, the Bubba Dubba Dump Pimple Pop. Did you get that? What story shall we read next in Storytime, love?